Hi everyone, my name is Priya, first year BCom Accounting and Finance from Mahalakshmi Women's College of Arts and Science. Today I am going to say about Stop Worrying and Start Living by Dale Carnegie. In 1909, I was one of the unhappiest lads in New York. I was selling motor trucks for a living. I did not know what made a motor truck run. That was not all. I did not want to know. I despised my job. I despised living in a cheap furnished room on West 5060 Street, a room infested with cockroaches. I still remember that I had a bunch of neckties hanging on the walls. And when I reached out one morning to get a fresh necktie, the cockroaches scattered in all directions. I despised having to eat in cheap, dirty restaurant that were also probably infested with cockroaches. I came home to my lonely room each night with a headache buried and fed by disappointment, worry, bitterness, and rebellion. I was rebelling because the dreams I had nourished back in my college days had turned into nightmares. Was this life? Was this the vital adventure to which I had looked forward so eagerly? Was this all life would I ever mean to me? Working at a job I despised, living with cockroaches, eating wild food, and with no hope for the future. I longed for leisure to read, to write the books I had dreamed of writing back in my college days. I knew what I knew I had everything to gain and nothing to lose by giving up the job I despised. I was not interested in making a lot of money, but I was interested in making a lot of living. In short, I had came to be to the Rubicon, to that moment of decision which faces most young people when they started out in life. So I made decision, and that decision completely altered my future. I has made the rest of my life happy and rewarded beyond my life, my most utopian aspiration. My decision was this: I would give up the work I later, and since I had spent 4 years studying in the State Teachers College at Wartburg preparing to teach, I would make my living teaching adults in night schools. Then I would have my days free to read books, prepare novels and short stories. I wanted to live to write and write to live. What subject should I teach adults at night? As I look it, as I looked big back and evaluated my own college training, I saw that the training and experience I had in public speaking has been of more practical value to me in business and in life than everything else I had studied in college all put together. Why? Because it had wiped out my timidity and lack of self confidence and given me the courage and assurance to deal with people. It had also made clear that leadership usually gravitates to the man who can get up and say what he thinks. I applied for a position to teach people speaking in the night extension courses both and Columbia University and New York University. But this university decided they could struggle along somehow without any my help. I was disappointed then, but I now thank God that they did not turn me down because I started teaching in YMCA night schools where I had to show concrete results and show them quickly. What a challenge that was! These adults did not come to my classes because they wanted college credits or social prestige. They came for one reason only. They wanted to solve their problems. They wanted to be able to stand upon their feet and say a few words at a business meeting without fainting from fright. Salesmen wanted to be able to call on a tough customer without having to walk around the block three times the get to get the courage. They wanted to develop poise and self confidence. They wanted to get ahead in business. They wanted to have more money for their families. And since they were paying their tuition on an installment basis, they stopped paying if they did not get results. Since I was being paid not a salary but a percentage of the profit, I had to be practical if I wanted to get. I felt at the time that I was teaching under a handicap, but I realize now I was getting priceless training. I had to motivate my students. I had to help them solve their problems. I had to make each session so inspiring that they